make sure we are actually live on everything. So we're live. Oh my God, Nicko, Nicko came.
Hello.
What is Nicko back? Is Nicko hacking into us? No, wait. Let me just.
You hear me? Now we can hear you, but we can't see you.
No, it's okay. Now, yeah, I just took his off. It's okay. Yeah, he can figure his stuff out. Wait. Just let me make sure. Let me make sure we're back on the socials. Uh, okay. Nicko told he's just gonna send on the chat some questions.
Nice.
Okay, okay, okay. We're live. We're live. We're back live. Somehow. Anyway, I'm trying to talk about the Ribeiro, man. Okay, so let me just go over again because we've been troubleshooting a bunch of live streaming things. But basically, I was asking you about your experience with Edu Ribeiro because you have like years of classes with him during, like through school, and I don't know if after school, but whatever. Um, you were telling like the first thing you did, you came to him and just told him like, hey, I want to learn about jazz and Brazilian instrumental music and improvisation music because you have been through like rock and blues and other styles through your whole life. And when you get into school, you're like, okay, I have to run back into this and make sure I know everything. So when you came to him, he just gave you 10 records and told you should listen actively about them and not just listen passively them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And I wanted to learn things, basic things. I had doubts like how where do I play my bass drum when I play jazz? I know I have to like ting ding, but what do I do with my bass drum? I have no idea. I had no idea of what I had to do, man. So so I started to listen to like 2 hours of jazz every day and to play 6 hours of jazz every day, and I was like really immersed into this stuff. And quickly I started to understand like really better what was going on, and being I started to get really close to Edu. We started to get like really to become friends. And he started to take me into his gigs, like
Nice.
as a roadie. He asked me, "Hey, Matheus, I trust you, man. Uh, do you want to be my roadie?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, for sure," because like it was a great experience.
Of course, and his
Because
gigs are
at
great
this
gigs.
I learned so much by going to Edu's gigs,
Mm-hmm.
and I met like lots of interesting people, and this was like a big school to me, just to see Edu playing and to see these guys improvisating. So it was like really motivating, to be close to Edu. He's like a really nice human being, and he helped me so much to understand and to be in contact with all this stuff. And so this process with Edu was like really natural and a step in my career that was really important to me. And it's really interesting because learning to play jazz, it's not that I'm a great jazz player or a great Brazilian music player, but everything I know about jazz and everything I know about Brazilian music really changed the way that I play everything,
Mm-hmm.
all the other stuff too, pop music and rock and roll too.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like really sure of the sound that I want for everything that I play, and I really feel that only studying jazz gave me this ability to like, how can I get this sound of my drums, and how can I get
Yeah.
this sound of my drums, and studying, listening to music like actively, not only the jazz records, but I don't know, rock and roll
Yes.
records, less listening to Led Zeppelin like really uh, actively, and listening to Nirvana this way. I feel like I only learned to listen to music after I studied jazz, because it really makes you, it forces you to really understand what is going on around you.
Yeah.
When you're playing, when you're listening, you have to listen, or you're not going to play jazz if you don't listen what's going on
Yeah.
there.
I have. Uh,
So I feel like, learning to listen to music, it's very important to learn to listen to music. Learning that was really important for me to learn to play drums, like, to tune my drums and to know the dynamics I have to put into it. And that was really important for me as a drummer, for everything. So this experience I had with Edu, I feel like I really changed a lot my way of playing drums, of listening to music. And so I'm really grateful to him, because of that, because he was the guy who really told me, man, yeah, that you're playing, it's right, but it doesn't sound good.
mm-hmm.
He
That
told me like lots of times.
that's so
And it's really
fun.
hard to listen to that. You studied the stuff for like hours and hours and hours, and I would show this to Edu, and he would say, man, it's okay, but it doesn't sound good yet, and you have to do this, and it doesn't sound good because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like really a great teacher in that way. And he taught me like a lot, and he's very generous. He would really teach me everything he knows about some
Yeah.
subjects. He's really a generous and a great player in that way. So it was really game changing for me.
Yeah, that should be such a. They have Edu Ribeiro has this trio called Trio Corrente, 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 and it's just mind blowing. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, but not only. I think Trio Corrente is like, okay, it's some great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you listened to the record that was released, I think, some months ago, that he did with Hamilton de Holanda.
Oh no, I didn't.
Man,
I do love
do it,
Hamilton though.
do it.
Yes.
Listen to this record. It's like
So
mind
so who
blowing,
who's
man.
in the lineup?
You
Is
know,
him, Hamilton, and is this like a big formation? Is it a big band? Is it a small band?
Thiago do Espírito Santo,
Uh huh. Bass player.
and there is a guitar player. I don't remember his name now, man.
Okay, Faria.
Oh, shame on me.
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't remember the guitar player name,
It's
but
okay.
it's an acoustic guitar player. So it's a quartet.
Nice.
It's a Hamilton
Nice.
de Holanda quartet. It's called Harmonize. If
Okay.
you if you listen to this record, because Edu is like known for Trio Corrente. Yeah, he plays like it's really some great stuff. But it's really interesting to see Edu playing in other situations too. So if you listen to Edu playing with Hamilton de Holanda, you know it's Edu, but there are some things that he will play like really in a different way that he would play in Trio Corrente. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really a great player. It's some really great influence for me, and
Especially yeah,
I
especially
think
because
everyone should listen to it.
yeah, especially because like following an artist like you were doing with him, it's really nice to know what he's not doing.
Yeah.
So it's really good to like when you get an opportunity to follow a musician and really see like how much they're putting out at certain moments, and how they manage these things. I think this is really important.
And not only that, I was so close to Edu that at some moment he started to show me how he studied for his gigs. So I was still his student when he started to study for the Hamilton de Holanda stuff.
Okay.
And in one of our classes, he told me, today we're not going to talk about the things we are studying. We are going to study this song
For my
that
next
I have to study.
for my next gig. That's
And it was an Hamilton de
amazing.
Holanda.
He literally put like his student into his shoes, right?
Yeah, and he would show me. So today I'm going to show you how I will study this stuff. And it was like some complicated stuff, man. Some really hard stuff to
Mhm.
play, you know? And so I started to
It
see
was it
how
was
he
it was a
thinks.
shard. It
How
was a
does he learn?
track. How what does he had?
Yeah, he had the music chart
Okay.
with the harmony and with the melody.
Okay.
That's what he brings. He showed me,
Uh huh.
and he told me. So, where do I start? You know, to
Damn.
play this, because it was like really some hard stuff, man. Like really fast and in some odd times. You know, like 11, and I was, oh my god, man. Whoa, I don't know what would I do to play this. You know.
Yeah.
And so I started to see, because when we hear the album, or when you see a video on YouTube, you have this impression that the guy is a machine. You know, the
Yeah.
guy is a god. Oh my god, how do you play this?
Mhm.
So when I was close to Edu, I started to see the human being, the guy that has to study for it, and he studies a lot.
Yeah. Imagine.
You know, Edu Ribeiro he studies every day, man. He studies like 2 or 3 hours every day. Today, he does it.
It's crazy.
And it's really impressive. It,
Yeah.
it, it really makes you think about yourself like, oh my God, man,
Yeah.
you know? So these were some lessons that I got from Edu, that he wasn't teaching me this, but only seeing this, seeing him study, and seeing how he does things, how he studies, how he goes to a gig, how he behaves in a gig,
As a musician,
how he
yeah.
talks to people. Yeah, the human being, you know.
Yeah.
These were like some lessons that you cannot pay for them, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really cool.
So
So,
this,
Nico was like he's in the chat now. So
I Nico.
he's asking about your next projects, like what you have coming on. If you've been working through something during the quarantine, and what's going on musically in your life.
Yeah. So in the quarantine, I had to stop making gigs, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, but I have some record equipment here in my
Okay.
house. So
Yeah.
I have an interface, I have my microphones, and I know how to record on how to
How to properly track the
use
drums.
Logic.
Mm-hmm.
I use Logic Pro to record my stuff,
Yeah.
and I had some records that people asked me to do remotely here in my house. So
Yeah.
I recorded drums for some songs of the artists that I play with.
Mm-hmm.
So I recorded TA stuff. I recorded Serapicos stuff. Uh, we did some experimentations with MORSA during the quarantine. I recorded a new Renato Leite Trio single that will be released soon. And the next days there will be a new Serapicos single that I recorded here at
Ooh,
home too.
nice. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do this.
To keep
I
active,
I'm trying
yes.
to keep active by recording stuff at home. I am teaching classes, like really few classes, but there are some classes that I am giving in by Skype
Yeah.
here at home.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's pretty much of it. There's not much more that I can do during this
I
period.
mean, you're
So I'm
believe
just
me.
studying a lot, listening to music, and recording stuff that people are doing during the quarantine. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, believe me, you're doing a lot, and it's fun. Like you were talking about the Nico. If you okay, he's asking like what do you see for like Brazilian music scene after COVID? Do you have an idea like of because I see Brazil is pretty straightforward like in reopening. Um, how do you see like gigs coming back, or do you do that? Do you see gigs coming back?
This is a subject that I'm really afraid about.
Yeah.
Really afraid, man. Really afraid because in Brazil we are having some really complicated situations about how the pandemic is being administrated and dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really optimistic about the gigs. I don't know when they will come back.
Yeah.
Sincerely, I think that it will take some time for it to normalize.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's
Yes,
something that it's a shot in the dark, you know.
it is.
I
It
really
is
have
though.
I really have no idea of when I will be able to play on stage again,
Yeah,
and it frightens me. You know, I'm really afraid, man. I'm really afraid.
I know.
Uh,
We all are.
I don't think that I don't think that the musician career is like over. Oh my God, we're
Yeah.
never going to play
No.
gigs again. I don't think so, but I don't know, man. I really don't know what to say about that because I'm really afraid that it will take really some time. Uh, in Brazil, I think it will take some time for us to be able to start to play again. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like
because
everybody's tied to immunization. Yeah, I personally also have actually I was about to ask you that because we've been recording at home, and I have all my neighbors' phones, so they basically like it's a referendum if I should play drums or not. Right. So like we just keep okay, like you have a like I don't know an office meeting today, like right now, so I can take a break and come back in 1 hour or something. Like every day have been through these things,
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. This kind of situation it's something we have to deal with now because the
yeah.
pandemic changed everything. The way we study now. I'm at home, man. I'm at home and I live
Yeah.
with my mother and my sister, and so I cannot play drums the whole day. My sister
Yes.
works here and she has
Yes.
meetings online. I cannot do it, you know.
Yeah.
So now we have limitations,
We
and we have to
do.
deal with it.
We do. Yeah. But
And
yeah, there's a lot of people in worse
we
situations. So that's what I think. Once people were safe and healthy, that's what matters in the end. Like in in in
yeah, I think
in times we live nowadays, that's what I think.
what I told you in the beginning about now, I'm just hearing to things that make me comfortable, to make me feel comfortable, and that make me feel motivated. Uh, for example, listening to Nirvana, it's something that I did my whole life, and when I listen to Nirvana, it remembers me of why I chose to become a musician,
Yeah,
and
name it
why
all.
am I doing that now? I'm doing that now because man, I'm scared. You know,
Yes.
I'm really scared, and I just want to every day remember why I am doing this.
Yes, exactly. And this is a really like I think this is an activity like everyone I know who plays drums are going through right now. Just
Yeah,
keep like reminding, okay, that's my profession, and I really like this is the word that is out is not my profession. you know,
yeah,
it's the
and
word
we
that is
have
upside
to we have
down. It's not me.
yeah, and I think that we work like with culture.
Yeah.
We do culture for the people to have fun, and we make music.
Mm-hmm.
But in this situation, I really don't feel comfortable. You know, I think the situation is it's like bad. People
Yeah.
are dying. You
Yeah,
know,
I have some
and
friends. I have some friends doing like like the open air gigs and stuff. But even though I don't know, it's just especially with horns, because horns they're just they just blow, they blow like saliva everywhere.
I
you know,
didn't think about that. Yeah, man.
as a saxophone is a spray. It's just like, woof. But anyway,
Yeah.
Nicko is making a good question actually. He saw that you have a lot of gigs and with pop artists, and this is something here in Boston, people audition for these things every day, right? At least back when gigs were a thing. But he was asking like, did you audition for any of these gigs? And if you did, how was it? How was the experience? And how you get those gigs? Like, how do you get pop gigs, basically?
Yeah. Uh, I didn't audition for any of them like in the formal way of audition. I didn't have like an event with a line of drummers waiting on the street waiting to be auditioned, you know. Uh,
Playing
Things
paradiddles
happened
as
like
faster as they can.
how fast can you play paradiddles? Uh, no, it was like oh, I was always recommend. How can I say that? People would recommend me for the gig, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
You
for
you
example,
were you were
uh,
referred.
yeah. So Chie, when she needed a drummer,
Mm-hmm.
uh, her guitar player knew me.
Mm-hmm.
He had already seen me play with other artists. So everything in my career happened this way, you know. So, for example, he called me and he told me, "Hey man, do you remember me? My name is Andre. Uh, Tia needs a drummer, and I really like the way you play drums, and I think you could fit in the gig like really well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what do you think? Do you want to try it? Do you want to come and rehearse with us?
Mm-hmm.
We want to meet you and we want to know you."
So
And
we're more
so
like an
my audition,
invitation more than like an audition itself.
yeah, my audition in some ways was like the first rehearsal. You know, I know that when I go to the first rehearsal, I have to play well. I
Yeah,
cannot
because you're gonna
like,
be judged on that. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I cannot screw the whole thing. You know, so I always prepare myself for the first rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
I always say like, okay, give me 1 week, give me 2 weeks to learn the set.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I when I'm going to the first rehearsal, it's kind of an audition, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
If
It,
the
it it
artist
it's a deal. It's a
if
big
he,
deal.
yeah, if the artist doesn't like me,
That's it.
I lost. You know, I lost the gig. So I have to be prepared. And I always prepare myself like really well. I play every day the whole set,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of a low profile guy, you know. So in Thier, for example, I didn't know anyone in the gig. I like
That's
I
good.
knew Andre, but I wasn't close to him. So when
Yeah.
I get in this situation, I'm playing with people I don't know with. So I'm really a low profile guy. I
Mm-hmm.
say, hi, my name is Matheus, and let's play together. If you don't like something I did, please tell me. I'm going to make that feel better for you.
Yeah.
And I will play and I will listen to everyone and I will try to not uh, be loudest. I'm not trying to overshow what I know how to do. I'm
Yeah.
really trying to just play what is
Mm-hmm. Like show that you have
for pop gigs
control of
that is
whatever you're
really
playing.
important. You know, you cannot overplay. So when I started playing with Chia, I knew that I have to play like really only what is necessary, what the music asks for, and things will always happen like this, you know. And after Thier, for example, I started playing with Nina Fernandes and Stéfano Ferraz
Yeah.
because of Thier. They saw me playing with Thier and they knew me and they asked me, "Hey, do you want to be my drummer?" So things always happen like that for me. I didn't have an audition. Like I never saw a an announcement on the streets like we want a drummer, come to this place in this time and we will make an audition. No, it was never like this. It
Mm-hmm.
was always like a call. "Hey man, do you want to be my drummer?"
Yeah.
"Yeah, I want to be your drummer." And then I would
That's funny
go
because
to a
like
rehearsal and
th-
everything was fine.
this is something I see like in Brazil. Gigs are way more. How can I say that? It has this emotional link, right? Like you wanna know people and work your networking pretty well. So
For sure,
you
man.
get known and you get
I,
called for gigs. But the thing is, in US, I think things are not quite like that. Like a lot of artists they prefer to go to formal audition process.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah,
them they don't even audition people. They like the musical directors do.
yeah,
Like what your friend André did with Tia. You know, he was like,
yeah,
okay, I'm taking a whole of, you know, like I'm taking a step further, like on making this band sounds good. So I know a person. Let me bring it. You know, um, and it's funny because in a lot of formal auditions you see these things happening like parallel. So like they have someone, but at the same time they audition people. You know,
yeah,
so this is like
yeah,
a, you know, it's actually a safer way to work. But it's fun to see because like the higher profile your gigs get, the more social they get. You know, like you get people
yeah.
like Edu Ribeiro, like he doesn't audition for things, he just get called for it. You know,
No, he doesn't audition. For
yeah,
sure, he
like
doesn't
his
audition.
audition is his career, right? So, but it's fun to see these things because like it's literally culturally how people work differently, right? On different
Yeah,
places.
something that I'm really aware of here in Brazil is the importance of being a nice guy. You know, you have to be a nice guy. Lots of artists already told me, like, man, I don't want a drummer that I don't want to spend time with.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to
Like,
be a good hang, right? First.
yeah, man, because like you're going to play a gig and it's going to last like 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, but you're going to have like 4 hours in the backstage with that guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and you're going to be in a van traveling with him. And so lots of artists that I play with, I know that they really like the way I play drums. Of course, I have to play
Mm-hmm.
well the drums. It's what I
This is
do.
the first thing you have to be
But
able to.
that's kind of basic, you know. You have to play drums well and you have to know what you're doing. But
Yeah.
more than that, if you're a nice guy and you're a guy that the artists want to be friends with, that's
Mm-hmm.
like really important. And at some point, man, I started to go to barbecues at Tie's house,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great. I love it. You
Yeah.
know, you always have to you have that professional relationship
Of
and you
course.
respect
Of course.
the artist, of course, but at the same time you are friends, you
But
know. And
this
I
is the
think
thing.
that
Sorry to interrupt you, but like I just want to show you the thing I was saying before, because like this is a thing that I see that is the biggest difference between a professional audition and like a gig you get called for, because and that's why I mean I understand why a lot of artists prefer to go with a traditional audition. Let's put it like that,
yeah,
because you don't have this tie, right? You can easily like, okay, like this person should be playing like that, right? And
yeah,
if he's not, it's like an employee, right? It's like applying for a job, literally,
yeah,
right? And it's the same like
yeah,
if you
for
get in the
sure.
office and you're an asshole, like nobody would want you to be there. Doesn't matter if you're in a bank or if you're on Lollapalooza, right?
Yeah, yeah, I never dealt with situations like that. I never worked in a band where I was only an employee and where I didn't know the people I was playing with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in my gigs and in my professional life, I always finish by being friends with the people. You know,
That's
like
it.
Big Shot Blues guys, the two guys from Big Shot Blues. You know them.
Yeah,
You
the
know them.
brothers.
You
Yeah.
know Guapo and you know Caio. Man, they are like way older than me. You know, Guapo, he's like, I don't know, 45 years old, and
Yeah.
man, we are friends. You know, we are really
Exactly.
friends. Like we rather like to have a beer and to chat, and man, I love them. You know, so
Sushi.
I never was.
Guapo loves sushi.
Yeah, and beer. He loves beer and
Yeah.
wine.
And wine, especially, yes.
Oh my god, man. I really learned so much about beer with Guapo, man.
That's really cool, man. So, yeah,
Yeah, and
we're
like that's great, you know. So I don't know how it is to be in a gig where I'm only an employee. I can say that by my experience, I love to be in bands where I'm friends with everyone, man. Because at the same time that I'm working, I'm having fun with my friends.
exactly. And you know what?
You know?
In the end, like that's it, because you don't want to be, like when you get your when you get a like, when you're working, when you're doing like your own thing, you don't want to, you don't want to be surrounded by by a bunch of shady
Yeah,
people. So
yeah.
yeah, I completely get it. So
I
Mike.
think there are lots of musicians that do it, that
Mhm.
are employees. Like in Brazil, for example, I think this happens a lot with sertanejo bands,
Yeah.
sertanejo universitário, because I have friends that do it and I know it. I know that for this kind of bands, people are going to play in the gig and they don't know anyone, and the artists sometimes will don't know the musicians too,
Yeah.
and there are lots of people that do it for different reasons, because they like it, because they need the money, and
Mhm.
that's okay. That's
Yeah, yeah.
fine. I don't do it, and I don't know if I would feel comfortable with that, because I'm used
Mhm.
to being friends with the people, and I love it.
Mhm.
I love to. I'm in the gig, and I will like, hey man, how are you? Yeah, I'm nice. Yeah, that's fine. I really like this. The energy that I put into the gig. Like
Exactly.
I love playing with Tie because I love the people that are involved in the project.
Mhm.
So for me that's important.
And
But
for
I think for other people, other things could the professional way of doing it can work too, and that's okay.
yeah, even though I don't know, like when I had a chance once to see Mike Stern playing, like I worked in a show with him, and that was like this person you described. That was Mike Stern, like, and he's the youngest guitar player to play with Miles Davis, and he's just like show up like with a smile, like from year to year, greet
Yeah,
greet everybody, like make sure he talk important things with people, but like he literally just like
yeah,
he was just literally talking like two sentences with each person and like straight to the point, and
yeah,
being really nice,
yeah.
smiling.
That's
In 15 minutes, he went around the venue, and when he came back to the stage, I look around, was everybody smiling. That there's no way for a show
yeah.
like that go wrong.
That's something that really I think that's something it's worth talking about, because it's something that I really think it's very important for a musician, for
Mhm.
any musician, because that's the kind of stuff that makes me admire even more the musician we're talking about. So
Mhm.
Edu, for example, when I first met him, I was like, oh my god, it's Edu Ribeiro, man. Is he going to be a nice guy? I don't know.
Yes,
He
yes, you
could be
always
an
have that.
asshole. I didn't know him, you
Yeah.
know. And he was like this nice guy with a huge smile on his face. And when I got closer and closer and closer to him, at the point when we were friends, my admiration for him was only bigger,
Growing. Yeah, yeah.
because not only he was this legend and this superhuman drummer,
Mhm.
but also he was like this nice human being and this generous guy, and
Mhm.
that is something that I really like.
Yes,
And
yes.
the people I work with are people that I love, are people that I really admire too, so it's really great to work in this kind of situation. I really love it, and I hope that I can still do it.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. And it's fun. And this is fun because you see like high profile musicians, they are in their zone so much that they that's exactly how they just care about being nice people because they are whatever they performing already.
Yeah,
That's their lives. Like 24/7,
yeah,
So in the end he's just showing up like a person is just showing up for work, right?
exactly,
It's
exactly.
fun. It's fun. Yeah, I mean, we could be talking for 3 hours here because like this thing comes like bring me a good question about like what's the difference between a ritual and a performance. Because I think sometimes performance can get like as spiritual as rituals. Like because
No, for sure.
it's too much energy, it's too much people, and music like makes people bring energy out. And yeah, and that in the end like in shows I think this is what it is. In the end it's just like you're just
and
doing your
i think
job,
and i think
and what changes is the people that are there and what they are
Yeah,
actually
for
feeling.
sure. And I think that's the thing that I miss the most about this time that we're living now, the pandemic situation. I think this is what I miss the most, man. Because like I was used to play like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 gigs a week
Yeah,
before the pandemic.
yeah, yeah.
And so in a way, I was meeting with my friends 3, 4, 5 times a week
That's
because I
amazing.
work with my friends,
That's
you know.
amazing. Yes, yes, yes.
And when we are in the stage, like I don't know, with Big Shot Blues, for example, we are playing in a business situation, like with only lots of people with suit
Uh-huh.
and ties,
Mm-hmm.
and okay, let's play blues. And like Guapo will say 1, 2, 3, 4, and he has this smile on his face. And when we start playing, I'm like, okay, man, everything's fine. I love this. I love these guys, and oh my god, I love what I do. Every gig reminds me of how much I like what I'm doing, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
now I don't play gigs because I'm stuck at home, and that's what I miss the most, you know.
Yes.
I miss with being with my friends and being in this ritual,
Mm-hmm.
in this ritual, personal ritual that is, oh my god, I'm making music with my friends.
Yeah. I'm chatting
And
this week.
that's what moves us.
Yeah, these weeks I've been chatting a lot with like with Berklee alumni, friends, and people around, like just to see what's going on. And like most of the people, that's the only comment people do. Like I like there's nothing that replace playing with somebody. you know.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
after 2 3 months recording videos and these things, you're just like, dude, I just wanna play with someone who does something wrong, and we work around it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so sick of the robots I'm playing with. Yeah, that's it, man.
Because they send you a recording, everything is nice, and or you sending a recording if they laying like if they laying tracks on the like above the drum set, you just send them like a form or whatever, but there's everything right. You know what I mean? There's never
Yeah, yeah,
is recording. Like you're not gonna leave things wrong unless you record
yeah,
it
yeah.
live. you know.
Yeah, and I miss the backstage, you know. I miss being in the backstage with my friends, and I miss being in
Yeah,
the stage and seeing people watch us play with a smile on
feeling
their
right.
face. Like, yeah, man, it's bad, but soon I think it will get better. I hope
Yes,
so.
yes, and I think that people, like another day was my, as I told you, like I was recording. That was the day that Peter Green passed, right? 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago. Anyway, uh, and I was like, dude, Peter Green passed, and I literally just sit down, like I was. I wanted to record, like I had to record something else, and I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna sit down and play like old Fleetwood Mac, So I did for a while, and then my neighbor like just text me like, "Hey, like I'm in a meeting here. Like, how you wanna play? Like, you're gonna play for much longer or whatever." Like this text we have been changing as I told you, and then I was like, "Oh no, I was just recording a song from because the past of Mr. Green." And he was like, "Dude, we love Fleetwood Mac in this house, blah blah blah." So like people are missing arts too. So I don't know. I mean, if I can bring a positive view of this whole thing, is just like I th- I think that once immunization start happening, I think people will gonna
yeah.
eagerly come back with
People
these
will
things.
be, yeah, people will be missing music. Yeah, I hope
Dude,
so.
I
I
was
really hope
so
so.
happy that Frusciante was coming back to Chili Peppers, and I was like, no, not now, bro. I wait for years.
Yeah, yeah,
But anyway,
yeah. I was happy for that too. It
yeah, that's
will be great
amazing.
for Red Hot Chili Peppers. Love them, man.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
god, I
they
love.
yeah, they're still gonna come back on that tour, and we're gonna see them. But yeah, I stand a little bit because of that whole um, technical situation we had. But I think we're getting close to the end, so I don't know if you wanna like give us some final considerations. If you wanna like tell us something you're working on, you wanna promote. It's just an open space. Just
Well, first I would like to thank you and Nicko for one more time for inviting me to be here. It's always like really nice talking to you, and man, I miss you so much. I hope
likewise.
that we can meet each other soon. Uh, Thank you. And well, for people that are watching, if you want to listen to my to my works, to things I recorded, there is MORSA. there is Renato Leite Trio, there is the live DVD that I recorded with Thier. They are all these albums are on the streamings, and if you want to text me to ask about anything, feel free to send me a text message on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and that's it.
Nice.
Thanks
Yeah.
thanks a lot for inviting me.
Dude, you're home. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to explain. Like you were one of the first guests from Drum Hang when we started doing this thing in the beginning of the pandemic, and we were still doing that over Instagram. So yeah, you were like one of our beta interviews, which were really cool, were really great. And when we move onto YouTube and Facebook and this whole new format, I was like, okay, now we need to get Matheus back.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it
Yeah, really
was really
big
nice.
pleasure.
Yeah, it was really nice to talk to you, and it's nice to know because even though we talked, I don't know, 2 months ago, uh, you have so much stuff going on. It's always there is always subject to talk about.
Yeah,
And
for sure. And we could talk for hours and hours because, man, we're friends.
exactly, yeah. If I open a beer here, we can go like all night long. But yeah, but we do that when I get to Brazil, okay?
Yeah, can't wait for it, man. Can't wait for it.
Cool. All right. So, dude, was really a pleasure. I'm sorry Nicko couldn't come in. Definitely in the next time, uh, he will be in.
Yep.
And for you guys to know, next week, as usual, for the second week of the month, we're gonna have a drum hang held in Spanish, right? And we're gonna have this amazing Puerto Rican drummer coming to talk with us. Tons of experience, play with a bunch of people, record with a bunch of people. Like great talking. He's an educator too, so it's a great talking to educators about drums. So yeah, and then after that, just regular drum hang, right? Just the second one we're doing in Spanish. Uh, that's it, Matheus. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. I wish you to stay strong as the whole community, because you know, yeah, we're passing through hard times, but music's still there, and doesn't matter. Like, and also like a lot of people like referring, like, are coming back to music onto these hard times. So it's never too much to reinstate how important it is for us to keep doing, keep playing and keep releasing like music songs, because we might be missing it, but sometimes on these times there's a lot of people that are in way harder situations that also need music.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. That's it.
Anyway, talking too much, uh, Mateus, let me hang up here because otherwise I'm just gonna keep talking to you forever. Okay,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. Really
Yes,
pleasure talking to you, and take care, man.
yeah, and space is open. Any release, anything like you wanna talk, this is always open for you. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man.
Talk to
Thanks a
you,
lot.
man. See you. See you.
See
Bye,
you, man.
guys. See you
Thanks.
guys next week.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.